Benley. Here's three. She got
not need much space here.
Is the WNBA ready for its biggest shakeup ever? Who could have imagined the world of women's basketball being turned upside down in 2026? A new rival league, Project B, is making waves with eye-popping investments and big-name signings. With WNBA stars now being offered contracts far beyond anything they've seen, the question is, can the league survive this storm? The WNBA, for decades, has been the pinnacle of women's basketball. Legends like Sue Bird, Diana Taurasi, and current stars like Nneka Ogwumike have built a league that's respected worldwide. But 2026 could mark a dramatic turning point. Enter Project B, a brand new women's basketball league that's already creating shockwaves even before its first tip-off. What is Project B? Project B is not just another minor competition. It's a 5-on-5 women's basketball league with ambitions to be global. Set to debut in November 2026, the league is already signing top WNBA talent. Nneka Ogwumike, former WNBA MVP, confirmed last week that she has joined Project B. While she's the only player who has publicly announced her involvement, insiders report that multiple WNBA stars are quietly signing on. Unlike some rival leagues that might compete directly with the WNBA season, Project B's calendar does not overlap with the WNBA, meaning players could technically participate in both. But the lure of salaries far beyond current WNBA contracts is tempting even the most loyal athletes: the money. Here's where things get really interesting. Project B is reportedly offering contracts that start at $2 million per year. That's more than 9 times the average WNBA salary, which hovers around $120,000 to $220,000 depending on the player. For perspective, the league is planning 6 teams of 11 players each, meaning it's searching for 66 top-level athletes, each potentially earning 7-figure paychecks. The financial aspect alone has made waves in sports media because it suggests women's basketball could finally receive the compensation it deserves. For years, the WNBA has struggled with relatively low salaries compared to men's sports and even other women's leagues globally. Project B could be a game changer for players looking to maximize their careers financially. Funding: who's behind Project B? Earlier this year, rumors swirled that Saudi Arabia's sovereign wealth fund might be funding Project B, with reports suggesting a $5 billion investment target. However, Grady Burnett, a co-founder and former Facebook executive, clarified that there is no money coming from Saudi Arabia. Instead, Project B is pursuing a global, diversified set of investors, which includes some of the world's top athletes like Candace Parker, Alana Beard, and even Novak Djokovic. Burnett did confirm that a Saudi company named Sela is involved, but only as an event partner, not as an investor. Sela is known for hosting major global sporting events, including high-profile boxing matches and the America's Cup. In short, Project B's financial backing is strong, independent, and global in scope: the hunt for stars. Perhaps the most exciting part of Project B's strategy is its goal to attract Caitlin Clark. Arguably the most talented and marketable player in women's basketball today, Clark is returning to the court this month, but reports indicate that Project B is positioning itself as a league where top talent can earn salaries and exposure unmatched anywhere else. Other notable WNBA stars, like Angel Reese, are also reportedly being courted, suggesting that Project B could attract an entire generation of elite players. With these players on board, the league will immediately have credibility, talent, and a global following. Project B versus Unrivaled. Project B isn't the first attempt at off-season women's basketball leagues. Earlier this year, Unrivaled, another off-season league, ran its first edition between January and March. Unrivaled offered smaller contracts, averaging around $220,000 per player, far below what Project B is offering. In terms of timing, Project B runs from November to April, which overlaps slightly with Unrivaled, but mostly covers the off-season. This positioning, combined with its massive salaries, gives Project B a clear advantage in the financial war for players. So, for players, the question becomes, do you stay in the WNBA full-time, or do you join Project B to take advantage of unprecedented contracts? And for the WNBA itself, the challenge is clear. How do you retain your stars in the face of such competition? Global ambitions. One of the biggest differences between Project B and the WNBA is the league's global focus. The WNBA, while respected internationally, is largely centered in the US. Project B, on the other hand, has plans to host games across Asia, Europe, and South America. This global plan is smart for a few key reasons. First, more fans. Basketball is growing all over the world, and bringing top women's basketball to new countries could draw in millions of new supporters. Next, bigger deals. Showing games internationally opens the door to bigger sponsorships, brand partnerships, and TV contracts. And finally, top players, elite athletes, want more than just a paycheck. They want exposure, marketing opportunities, and a chance to grow their personal brand. Project B could give them all of that. With these global ambitions, Project B is signaling that it wants to do more than just compete. It wants to redefine women's basketball on a worldwide scale. Potential impact on the WNBA. The rise of Project B is creating major questions for the WNBA. While the league has steadily grown, with stars like Breanna Stewart and Sabrina Ionescu drawing global attention, financial limitations remain a challenge. Project B could lure top players away, putting pressure on the WNBA to increase salaries to retain talent. At the same time, this new competition could push the league to innovate, trying new game formats, adjusting schedules, or expanding internationally to stay strong and maintain its place as the top women's basketball league. In other words, Project B could act as both a threat and a catalyst, pushing the WNBA to evolve faster than ever before. The fans' perspective. For fans, the rise of Project B is exciting. Imagine seeing Caitlin Clark or Nneka Ogwumike in a league that offers more intense competition, global reach, and higher stakes. On the other hand, fans of the WNBA may feel anxious, fearing their favorite league could lose some of its top stars. The reality is that women's basketball fans are likely to benefit from the increased competition. More leagues mean more games, more content, and more opportunities to watch the sport grow on a global stage. The 2026 season. Mark November 2026 on your calendars. This is when the first Project B games tip off. It's not just a new league debuting. It's a test of whether the WNBA can maintain its dominance in women's basketball. The league will start small with 6 teams of 11 players, but even in its infancy, Project B is already commanding attention. With high-profile signings, unprecedented contracts, and a global vision, it's setting the stage for what could be the biggest shakeup in women's basketball history. The WNBA has built a legacy of excellence, showcasing some of the best athletes in the world. But with Project B entering the scene, everything is on the table. Players now have more options than ever before, financially, professionally, and globally. Is the WNBA ready for this? That's the big question. One thing's certain, 2026 will be a year to watch. The stakes are higher, the money is bigger, and players have more power than ever to shape their own destinies. Project B isn't just a league, it's a challenge. And whether the WNBA rises to meet it or struggles to adapt, one thing is guaranteed. Women's basketball will never look the same again. If you're as excited as we are to see how 2026 shakes up women's basketball, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any updates. Drop a comment below. Who do you think will dominate Project B? Let's talk basketball.